Hey everyone, today I'm going to talk about the NextPVR software, and I've got a HD Homerun Duo as my tuner, and I'm going to show you the 4 ways to view the over-the-air content, how to get around the good, the bad in the first part. The second part, I'm going to show you how to set up your NextPVR, use the automatic program guide update for free. And so if you just want to skip to the setup part, go to this time code.
14 minutes 50 seconds.
Okay, let's get started. I'm going through a little bit of the look at the settings of the NextPVR right now. But I'm going to go through the players first. So let me get out of this. Let me start with Media Player or Windows Media Center. It's really easy to kind of get around. The guide loads automatically once you configure it, of course. Let me just double click. It just comes up. Pretty easy. Stop. You can advance it. The look and feel is pretty nice. Sometimes it can't get like the lower quality channels, like if the signal strength is less than 60%, but it's good just as a player. If you hit record, it will record a extension, a DVR or something to that effect, -MS, which is encrypted and you can't really edit. So this would just be a player for me if I got the shows to work. So I like the guide. I like the maneuvering around. You can go forward. Now that's something different than the NextPVR, which is my biggest criticism. I'm going to start the NextPVR now. Minimize the media center. You can't really fast forward this. It just shows you in in a however you want to set it, like 1 hour, 2 hours, but you can't really scroll through it. You can scroll down using the mouse scroller to view all your channels, but otherwise that's kind of it. You can't go forward in time. That's one of my biggest criticisms. But here you can do the same thing. Let me go ahead and double click on a show. You can quick record, record series, or watch. Let's try watching. Okay. So that works pretty well. The menu here will show my recordings, all the pending recordings. I've recorded series. I don't think it shows up if you just quick record. It won't show what you've done. So there is a 24-hour skip, but this would be good to just play. That's about it. You really can't, if you've got a show to record, you can't really go forward. You'd have to wait a while. So that's a big knock on that. But here's the fourth one, and I don't think I'll get to the or the third one. I don't think I'll get to the fourth one. It's the native HD Homerun player. It looks like the Android player. I might tack that on at the back, but I'm not sure. So let's get to my favorite one, and that's using my browser. I've got a Cyberfox version 52. You can scroll down, and then this bar you can scroll forward. So that's kind of what I was looking for. You can record from here. Let's say I want to record let's see here. I don't know. Made in Germany. Or what's this one? It doesn't say. Most of the time when you hover over, it will show you the description of the show. The time, it's just the current time, or time and date. Or I should say the date is the current date, and the time is when it is set to air. So you would say, okay, I want this show. I double-clicked it, and you can record once, record series, advanced, lets you start recording however many minutes before and after, and the reoccurrence, if you just want new shows only, record once as your defaults. So let me hit close here, get something more closer to the current time. Let me see, let me try this one. So I'll double click it. So since this is in my time period, I can set to watch. Let me get something else here. Some news. So let's go ahead and hit watch, and this is all within the browser. It has a native viewer here, starting transcoding. There's a pause, there's a volume down here. Okay, it's just about set to
Just a few weeks ago, they hoped he would recover from an infection, but Sudan's condition has
okay.
deteriorated rapidly. We started the procedure.
Let me pause that. So that's just a new show. I'll go back if I want to get out of here. So very nice to have a player with inside the browser itself. So you can record shows, set shows, watch, just overall view, set your settings. Let me show you your scheduler, pending recordings. This will show you everything that you've set to record series. So when the guide is going, which I'll show you later, it will pick up the name of the show and automatically say, hey, this is set to record this series, and it will automatically have a red bar over the show. Let me see if I can see. Yeah, I've got one program set, and it comes up red. Let me double click it. You can cancel it at this point, so it would cancel the series. But otherwise, if this NPR system tray is up, you don't need this browser up, or you don't need to start the NextPVR or anything. It will just, the recording services will go ahead and start to record. And on the system tray here, this white N will turn red. So that's when you know it's recording. So let's go through, we went through the scheduler. Okay, recordings. This will show everything that was recorded on the hard drive. I've got a PC, entertainment PC here. I do all my videos and stuff. So it's already recorded 3 shows. This just shows that it's on the computer itself. If I were to use the show, delete it, it would disappear. So this just shows you that there is content on there. And once you record this content, you can go in and edit that. And I might have a link up into the corner here that shows you or is a link to my editing of these transport streams or MPEG-2 files. So if you'd like to know how to edit out the commercials within like 4 minutes, you can have a edited show in 4 minutes onto a thumb drive, streaming to your TV in no time. TV guide, we went through there. The now is just kind of just it's all happening in this half hour or hour. So it's kind of like just a full screen. You don't have to be scrolling all the time. You can just have a one-shot view and double click and watch. I have it set to come up on TV or the TV guide portion every time. I think you can tell it to come up in whatever scheduler recording. So I've done the playing. I've done the showing you how to record. I prefer this way of doing it. You can use Plex, and there's a Python script. If you were to have the HD Homerun extended, I think you can actually stream to your smart TV. Right now I'm using a MyCloud to store all my content, and if you have a smart TV, you can also stream from there without needing the NextPVR. I think you can record the NextPVR content to the MyCloud, but I'm not sure. That's a lot of data going, because you're using your router to route all that content to another network storage device. So I can record 2 shows at once. I often have, and it doesn't show it right here, but a lot of times I'll have a show here and a show on Fox, and that will record at the same time, and the padding will be okay, even if the shows are back to back. It just double records. I don't know how the best way to describe it is, but the padding, the 2 minutes before and 1 minute after, does not affect anything on the same channel that records. It all records perfectly in 2 separate files. Like, even though this show on the same channel, let's say these 2 were recording back to back, it would make a duplicate once 2 minutes before this local programming would start to record, let's say. It would just branch off, and it would still record the channel, but it'd be more like a duplicate. And then once this first show was done recording, it would continue with the next show. So there's no interruptions, there's no hiccups. I've tried it several times. There's no hiccups in recordings, whether it's recording at the exact same time or back to back with the padding. So if I were to set this, just make sure your padding is where you want it, and so this would be the way to go for me. So let's get into some more. Well, I think at this point, since I'm not going to show you the HD Homerun, I might tack that onto the back. It's the same as the Android. I think you can find it online. It's the same interface as the smart TVs. You'll need a really fast tablet in order to stream the content. So I haven't really got that hooked up yet to show you in this video. So at this point, I think I'm done with all the settings, the recordings. I showed you that. I showed you the native NPR or NextPVR. I showed you a little bit of the Plex. Okay, at this point, I think I'm going to start just the setup of the NextPVR. So, let's start it. Let's first go to the settings. Okay. There's some of the look. When you first started out, you're going to want to set up your tuner, so it would automatically detect if it was detectable. And since it's a duo, it's going to have two tuners here. I set both. You'd go to the device setup, go to all frequencies, scan, and it would basically find all your shows it could find. Now, in my case, there was one channel that I could not get this thing to pick up, and it was the ABC channel. So I found a quick trick here. I use the HD Homerun config GUI, and it shows you the signal strength, all that kind of stuff. Now, when I'll do a manual scan, okay, and it wants a frequency. Now, this is where I'm going to recommend the View TV AT300 converter box. I'll also have another video of the HD Homerun Duo and the View TV video I did up in the upper right hand corner. It will kind of show you my setup, but for now I'm just going to tell you the View TV will have the frequency. When you hit the info button to see the signal strength, hit the info button twice, you'll see the signal strength of your channel, and up in the right hand top corner it'll show you the frequency roughly. And for ABC it was 617000. Now when I hit manual scan on this, this tuner will come up and it says 618750. So that's something different than what I'm telling it. So there's something off with the calibration. So if you have trouble, I would just start changing this number, reducing this number, and I kept on doing it until I reached 615250. So when I hit manual scan there, I get a signal, 60%. And you can see it captured it. Now I'm going to hit cancel because I've already got it in my device channels. So that's how you would kind of troubleshoot the frequency if you couldn't get a TV station you knew you could get. And that's why I recommend the View TV, because no matter how low the frequency is or the signal strength, I've gotten 45%. It just brings in the channel, even though there's starts and stops in the signal. It will still continue to record and show. So any obscure channels, that would be the thing to use in your daily life, probably, to view your shows, other than the HD Homerun. Okay, now that you've got all your channels, let's go into, oh, and another thing real quick. This also picks up IPTV channels. So I think it's in devices. You go here, device setup, and then there's a whole thing where you can just add all these individual channels over the internet, IPTV channels, which is kind of handy. I don't see any other software doing that. So I have picked up a couple, movie channel and something else. So that's kind of handy to have. So let's get into the channels here. You'll notice they're different settings as far as the EPG guide goes. Some of the signals don't come across. I'll just put none, or if I don't like the channel, I'll just put none, so it doesn't waste time. When you first run it, it'll take like 60 seconds for each channel that you have the DVB/ATSC go. So that kind of takes a while. So if you go and search for EPG, and this is in, I should show you what it's in first. Okay, it's in the user public NPVR, and you'd go to config.xml. So you would continue to go down to EPG, that's update hour, that's the time it updates. Okay, EPG scan seconds is set to 60 seconds. I put it down to 10 for each channel. You can kind of play around with that to see what you get, but I just put 10. I've just left it at 10. Another thing that I didn't mention, how to get to your browser, how to bring this up. All it is you put in your IP address and :8866. And if that doesn't work, I think you can specify the web server port right here. And make sure this is check marked. So that's how you get the NextPVR to come up in your browser and to watch and do all the neat things. So I told you how to do the scan seconds. Okay, now since we're here in the user public NextPVR, you go into scripts, and it gives you in the settings, or in the what is it, the instructions, it'll show you what to put in this EPG. And I'll tell you right now, before you do this, let me go back. Okay, here we go. You go to Zap to XML, put that in a Google search. Hopefully you get to this page. You come down, the Windows download is right here. Download it, install it, and this is your guide. This little program here is going to download all your TV guide information. And I've put it in here. So here's the program itself. I just made a sample start menu when I first started it, just to see if it would work. And it makes this xmltv.xml. Well, you also, in the user public NPVR scripts, you would make a file called update EPG, just like this. And this would be what you would put in it. Try word for word, except when you make a free account, make sure to put your username here, or your email address here, and then your password that you supplied to the website. And that's the first one I used. But I later am using this longer one, and I'll show you. Here's the settings that I use now. Of course, I use the area code or zip code area code here of the area where I want the stations. So you'd put in your applicable code there, and your username, password, and that should be good. So when you go to settings, channels, and hit this update EPG, it will automatically download the guide info, make the XML file, and then it will see if you're going to use it or not. So there's some channels, some obscure channels that I just use the regular DVB ATSC. That's what's coming through each channel, individual channel, so you don't really have to have a guide. The reason for a guide is to do the whole week. So the guide will get the whole week's worth. So you can go ahead and see all the shows coming up, start recording, set them to record if you like, for your whole week's worth. So let me just go into details here. If you want, since this is a major channel, WQC TV, you would set this to XML TV and then point it just to the XML file. And you would do that for all of them. Of course, you have to tell what to pick out of it, and that would be NBC. But these stations here are the only ones that are going to show up that you can use. You can't, put in your own text and pick out, different stations. You have to pick from this list, and that's all you get. So I just did that for all of them. Some of the major TV shows that are available I use. Otherwise, I just, as you can see, I just set them accordingly. NBC, Grit, CW is on there, and the rest I just put the default. So you just set that's it for, I think, setting that. Just go into your different settings, devices here. I should go back and once you get all your settings set, it would be good to export your channels. Basically, it'll make an XML file, and everything you've worked hard to set, it will kind of be like a backup file for you. So I do that. Any settings you would set, you want to save, you'd export those settings when you're all done. The decoders is really nice with this. It'll let you specify which decoders work for which machine. I have this on 2 machines, and they're different. My other machine's different. Some decoders work better on my other machine, so it's kind of nice to have the ability to see what works as far as playback goes. Miscellaneous, just set these however, and that's it for the settings. The XML, I should go into the NextPVR. Sometimes it doesn't like the settings up the same time as, let me start that. Okay. I don't know if I remembered having set, I think I did, double click. You can quick record, or watch. I don't think I went through here. Pending recordings, and then there's a little thing here. It'll say all the recurring. It'll show you each, all the different shows it's going to record over time, and any conflicts. I think I forgot to go through that. So I think I went through the fig file, the scripts, the Plex. This is a Plex server right here, and all this is doing is picking up all the movies and stuff I've saved to my cloud. What I do is I just download off the internet the shows that are coming up, and then I just store them in there in case I want to watch them later. So like I said, look for the Python script if you have a HD Homerun extended, because the HD Homerun extended has the transport stream, but the other tuner is a hard encoder that encodes to MP4, and that's the only way this will stream, is if you've got a smart TV, you've got a server. I've just got it on my entertainment PC, this Plex server, and it helped bridge the gap to the smart TV that has an app on it that says Plex. If you don't have the app Plex on your smart TV, I don't think it'll work, because just using my cloud here with just a regular, I have a Vizio TV, it likes the AVIs, but it doesn't like anything else. And sometimes the AVIs don't even work. So I don't like to have movies in AVI format because they're big. They're not really that great a quality. Of course, some of the like this Have Gun Will Travel, though, that is standard definition, so AVIs don't, that would be fine for an AVI. But for the new shows, they're just too high a quality, and you wouldn't get that much enjoyment out of them. So let me know in the comments if you've got anyone's had this figured out, if the HD Homerun Extended actually does stream using the Plex. You have to do a little tinkering with some script, but there's detailed information about how to get that going somewhere on YouTube. So let me see. I think I went through. I haven't really had to restart recording services. Not sure if that's down. Well, if your shows doesn't start, I did have that happen one time. I would just start NextPVR, and then it should start right away. Don't think I had anything more on the cloud. Settings. I think that's it. I think that's all the settings. If I have anything more, I might make another video, but I think this is it. I want to thank those websites out there that pointed me to the Zap2 XML, because all I saw was a paid service, and I tried the MC to XML. I think it's that one, and I had a real tough time getting that to work. I just got frustrated, and the Zap2 XML was a godsend, because it just works perfectly. Doesn't give me any hassle and stuff. So I want to thank and I'm sorry I forgot the website name, the YouTube channel that had this information. I forgot his name, where I got the information from. So thank you out there, YouTube. So better leave it there. If you have anything I missed and you want to tell me, put it in the comments. Like this video, subscribe if you like, and stay tuned to the TheIDBand channel for more great reviews on software and hardware.